Hey guys! Since so many of you liked my previous focus point mini tutorial sort of thing on my time-lapse artworks, I figured I would do another one. So I decided to take the beginning parts of the Greater Dog video, specifically because I wanted to talk about the sketching phase, since the sketching phase is kind of like one of the important parts of the drawing process, because it's kind of like the key of how well your drawing is going to be. So what I started out doing was just laying down some quick rough lines. I don't care about being accurate. I don't care about it looking good. I just want to get an idea. And what I should have done first, which I did later, was throw down that blob of black, which is kind of masking out the character's shape and form, just so I can see what his silhouette would look like, so I can know if I'm going the right direction. Like, does this look like it could be Greater Dog? It's also helpful for the gesture, because I want to see how strong his gesture is. Even if he's standing, there's still some sort of like movement that I could have that make it not so stiff. He's a bit stiff in this, but that's just because I'm not super great at gesture. I need more practice, but it's definitely not completely stiff, and that's kind of what I was aiming for. So I lower the opacity of both of those, which means I just make them more transparent so I can see better with new lines, and then I go back over that with a smaller, more refined brush to do more detailing. And this is kind of where I correct a lot of the mistakes that I didn't bother to in the initial sketches. Another thing that you guys didn't actually see in this video is that I did some thumbnails first, and what that is smaller drawings just to kind of get your ideas down, just see where you want to go with a drawing, and make sure that it's an idea that's worthwhile to do. I only did one thumbnail sketch for this, but it's totally possible to do like 10, 20 thumbnail sketches before you find the right one that you want to do. I'm typically lazy, so I usually only do like a couple before I get what I want. Now for the staff part, I actually didn't draw in his hands until after I had drawn in the staff, because I wanted a particular angle, and I didn't want to bother with the hands until I knew where the staff was going to be. So just to save me the trouble of having to fix the hands later, I just drew the staff first. A lot of what you see me doing is using the transform tool, which if you have a digital program, most of them have some sort of transformation tools. Photoshop has a lot of different ones. I mostly used warp, distort, and just normal transform. I also flipped the canvas. These are all like great ways to check your work, and if you're working traditionally, I'm sorry you're gonna have to do the whole erasing and redrawing, but it's totally worth it to fix your mistakes. And for flipping the canvas, you can just hold it up to a light and flip the paper over, and that should definitely have similar effects to help you see what's wrong that you wouldn't normally catch if it's facing the normal direction, because you're used to looking at it in that one way. When you flip it, wrong things just can immediately jump out at you. And if, like me, you are drawing something new, I definitely recommend doing a lot of studies beforehand. Like for this one in particular, as I mentioned in the main video, I looked at a ton of armor, I did some value studies, I did some armor studies. I didn't do a lot, I didn't do as much as I should have, but I definitely didn't do nothing. And that's important, because if you want to do a full-fledged drawing of something that you've never drawn before, it's totally like okay to do, but you're going to have a better understanding of what to do and what you're doing if you practice a bit beforehand. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Feel free to go check out the full main video where I talk more about the drawing process and the rest of how I drew the picture as well. Link in the description below. And thanks for watching. Bye!